Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. It is January 2021. We all made it through 2020, and that means it's another episode of GGWP, the second episode in our series. As we all know, GGWP stands for Glory to Ganon, Warden of Positivity. And today we are going to talk to someone very special, someone really well known in the scene. But I'm very honored to host this again. This is only the second time we're doing this, so bear with us as we set everything up. Our concept is to go beyond the regular what's happening in the scene and why is it so great and everything talk, and touch on the real topics when they present themselves. Critical areas, problems, if there's anything we can talk about, we will talk about that. Thank you very much for tuning in, Twitch chat. I hope you've been having a really good week so far. You almost made it through. With that, why don't we move over to our guest of the night right away. It is somebody you all know and you all love. It is Raphael Aspartem King. Good evening, sir. Hello, how are you doing, man?
I can't for myself. That's nice. I'm fine. I'm fine.
That's good to hear. How was your week?
Yeah, the week was fine.
Right.
Currently a little bit struggling with the internet over here. People will probably see it that my cam will stutter sometimes, but besides that, the only threat I'm hanging on, a good internet connection in this trying times. I'm fine. I'm fine. Holding on.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. So, like, do you have trouble with your internet often, or is this just like a Corona thing?
No, it's just the last couple of days. There was some issue with our router, and we had to bring the box and change the cables and talk with the provider that shall not be named. And maybe it should be fixed soon-ish.
All right. Maybe you should switch to Swisscom. Raphael, you are.
Swisscom. I said I did not name the provider because I'm smart. I'm not going to ruin potential sponsorings. Huh?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Raphael, should I call you Aspa? Should I call you Raphael? What do you go by? What do you go by?
Honestly, I think in the
Ralphie?
No, in the esports community, I think most people call me Aspa, and I even within like my circle of friends, most people call me Aspa, I think. They're just like it's about 50-50 of my closest friends, because we all played tons of games together in like the last 2 decades. So oftentimes we're hanging out in like Discords and TeamSpeaks. For those that don't know what this is, the young ones, you can Google. And then when other people were around, we usually referred to each other with our nicknames. So Aspa, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
Aspa's fine.
Yeah, it's funny. That's my own like experience in the esports scene. If you work in esports or you work in an area where esports is more serious than just being like a viewer or something, sometimes people struggle. Am I going to address this person with their real name? Am I going as the nickname? So people switch back and forth, and you can tell. It's like, should I say Aspa? Should I say Raphael? Should I say Thomas? Should I say Strike? I don't know. I'll just call you Hey You, and everybody will know who I mean if I pointed them.
I always assume that the nickname is good to go, because it's the name you chose yourself. Like your original name was chosen by your parents, so maybe you don't like it, who knows? Or maybe you're using your secondary name. But the nickname should always work. And sometimes I really forget like the real names of people, and only like remember their nicknames. And then when suddenly people start referring to the first names, I'm like, oh my god, what's their name? I know them for like 4 years. What's their name?
Yes.
And
I hate to say
really
this.
bad with names.
Same. I hate to say this. I had that moment with you yesterday when I was I can't say yesterday when I was starting to prepare for this show. I have to say yesterday when I finalized my days of preparation. I was like, dang, wait, what's his name again? And then I found it online. I was like, how could I forget that last name, Mr. King? How could I forget that name? So it's one of the best names in the scene. I have to say it. Raphael. If I go to your Aspa, if I go to your Twitter, it says MYI Management, Production, Consulting, Head Admin. I would add Swiss Esports Personality, And I'm not the only one to say that, because we saw those Twitter vote your best 2020, and you were there quite a few times. And maybe even kind of like a mascot with all the roles you take. You're the Maya Santa for Maya Nachten. Your own description is Grill Meister, M-Y-Eister. Would you say you're a jack of all trades? Oh, okay. Would you say you're a jack of all trades?
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit my job. I'm very versatile in things that I do, and I don't have like a particular like skill set just for one thing. And I'm also like, I enjoy challenges and new things. So oftentimes when there's something new coming up within the company, I'm like, yeah, I do it. Let's go. Why not? Yeah, I always enjoy.
And then you excel.
Making experience. Yeah, hopefully, not always, but I'm always giving my best. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's part of life, isn't it? It's just part of life.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. Keep going, please.
I mean, it's the same. Like when I started out with MII, it was back when I just was like a passive member of My Insanity, because I know the guys for like 10 years now. There was basically the question at like one of the events, hey, we need someone who could do like team manager for one of our teams for back then the Heroes of the Storm team. They go to London on Wednesday, and we really need someone. And I was like, yeah, I could either go to the uni and sit in some boring lectures, or I could go to a Blizzard event.
To London.
Fly to Leicester, I think it was. It was when Leicester, by the way, won the the cup or the league or something. It was the legendary soccer match at the same time. I don't know. It was just a lot of stuff going on there in Leicester. And yeah, well, then I was there. Was management for a few months for the whole season, the remaining season. And then afterwards, I got basically hired on the back of just saying yes to being the team manager there. And I guess it kind of goes to show that sometimes you get lucky, but you have to like make your own luck sometimes.
Yeah, they say success is luck plus preparation, or preparation plus luck. You prepare for the moment when luck strikes, and then you are successful. That's how far I heard that. I was gonna ask like how did you get into MYI, but you already told us that. But like, how did you get into esports? That's like probably a few years even before that. How did you even get into that scene, in the competitive scene, from like just gaming, I'd say?
Well, it's kind of weird because when I played games,
everybody always says that. This question.
Yeah, no, it's when I play games competitively, I had nothing to do with the Swiss scene. Like I started being active in the Swiss scene when I was no longer like really an active player, because I'm playing computer games since like I'm 4 or 5 years old. And I started playing Counter-Strike with like 10 or 11. And before that I played Quake and I played Unreal Tournament. Yeah, no, my father bought me the game, so it was like, okay, go shoot him. Cool. Yeah. My father is a gamer too, so he was like, that's just fictional stuff. He just talked with me. Do you know this is fiction? I was, yes, but can I now shoot him with my BFG? Yes, okay, good. Son, go and shoot him. So he was the real "Are you winning, son?" Kind of.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, "Are you winning, son?"
Yeah.
Shut up! I want to shoot him.
And then I think the most competitive that I play was when I started playing Dota 1 with like as a teenager, and then League of Legends came out, and I played quite a lot. I figured out, I was quite good, and then I was really pretty high in the early rankings of League, and could play with like a lot of people that then went on to be professional, and it's quite a bit of different gameplay. When you play with these people, like the mindsets of everyone involved is really positive and really focused on like improving themselves, and it's completely different than just laddering. And then I went to the military service, and when I came back, I was like a little bit rusty, and but a friend of mine was playing StarCraft 2 for my insanity, and due to him, I just like hanged out with the MY crowd. And then I think at some point, because I was just around and on these LAN parties, somebody asked me, "Hey, you talk quite a lot. Would you be like, and you know League of Legends quite a bit? I know. Sorry, I'm wrong. That was later. First, the Mindsanity guys needed someone to fill a spot in their Swiss roster, and I was like, yeah, I can help out. I'm really rusty, but I played really well. And then due to playing and being in the Swiss scene, and suddenly being at LAN parties and playing versus like the other Swiss teams, and suddenly recognizing people that like went to school with me, or like brothers of people that went to school with me. Yeah, it was really, really crazy how small Switzerland is. Yeah. Yeah, then suddenly somebody asked me, "Hey, would you also like wanted to like cast the game? Like, would you like do some casting?" And I was like, "Yeah, I never did it, but I talk a lot. I know the game. Well, kind of suits my boat." And then yeah, I did that. I just talked over League of Legends stuff, and then I just did this for a while, and then I still was part of my insanity, and then yeah, it just like worked it out like that, I guess. Yeah, through casting, you could say. I got deep into the scene.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's one way into it. And I met you a few years ago. How long have we known each other? 5 or 6 years, maybe? I'm not entirely sure anymore. But we met when you.
I don't remember when was the first time we met. One of the earliest times that I remember was
the interview
in in Zurich, right?
Yes, where you interviewed me.
Yeah, exactly.
On game rights, probably.
Yeah.
For something like that, and I remember we 4 years ago we both were we were both people who talk a lot, and like as a host of a show like this, it's incredibly valuable if you can go to your guests and be like, you know what, if you feel like talking, just talk. I don't have a lot of questions prepared. Just talk, man. If you want to say something, just say it. Because you can be like, yeah, okay, all right. No, but that's from where we know each other. So it's actually been a while. You are deep into production as well. You talked about casting now. You do online event production as well. I think you also did. You will probably produce some physical events as well, some physical shows at all these events. I think you did some of those as well. Am I wrong?
Well, not in the backstage. Like the on-site production.
Right.
Well, it depends on which events. Like the Red Bull Gaming World was done by the eStudios, for example. And then we worked together with the eStudios for a lot of our events, like the back when the No Mercy League in Overwatch was done. It was the first event that the eStudios did. Then I think we had some and the big like the exhibitions, like Zurich Game Show or Hero Fest or Fantasy Basel. That was usually the Korea line, like one of the Korea line is like a company that is live production for various things. They also do esports, because one of the guys there is like also like a small group of the company gaming and esports, so they do gaming and esports, but they're like a proper just do whatever events, like political stuff and speeches and whatever. So I'm mainly doing online stuff, and I'm actually only doing online stuff. Like on live, I'm only like preparing in the preparation, but not pressing the buttons at the actual event.
Right. So like we were together at a show a little while ago, in December, I think it was, and it was the TCS Esports League. where you press the buttons, and between I was hosting and you were doing the buttons, and between those moments when my analyst and I were talking, we went to you, like the backstage area, and we basically talked to you a little bit, and I had this view that it was absolute mayhem. Like every time we got there, something else was broken. Is this the standard for production? Is this like, do you go into an event like, all right, bring me all the tech issues I could have in one day, I am ready mentally, or is it usually something stable or just a few hiccups?
Well, it depends. Usually you want to be like prepared, and the bigger the event, the more preparation there is, and you make like test runs and you make rehearsals, and you make like sometimes weeks before, but that's not always possible. And sometimes, like, everybody that owns any device, digital, like any electronic device, knows it works. You turn it off, you turn it on, it's broken, like completely broken, and you don't know like what the F is going on here. And the TCS final was a little bit wonky. It had some very, very unexpected issues, and then usually it snowballs, because if you're in a live event and you're already on air and stuff happens, like really out of like something that you like didn't expect at all, then you're trying to fix this, but the show is going on, so you're always trying to like catch up again, and then maybe and the TCS one was really, really tough, because stuff kept coming up that didn't work out, and also didn't work out. So I think that was a especially stressful live production. I think you have seen there like the top end.
The top end of the bad spectrum.
Yes. So like we did a lot of the Red Bull Gaming World online series this year or last year, and there we had easier productions, like for example, for Age of Empires 2, we did one, and Age of Empires also uses the awesome program Capture Age, which is a special program to just like that gets all the information from the game. So you see who has how many resources, how many units, what are they teching right now, and so on and so forth. So a lot of in-game stuff is already taken care, and then the rest was so easy that sometimes you're like, I was like sometimes sitting there like, did I forget something? Is something going to break now? Because everything
it's
runs
too easy.
smooth. Yeah. And you sometimes have that, and it's also not funny. Like I like it when there is at least a little bit tension. When it gets too smooth, it's like I'm always like questioning myself. But it gives you time to like double and triple check everything, so it's also nice.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I know that feeling of it's being a little bit, it's going a little bit too well right now. Probably the entire thing is gonna blow in my face within 5 seconds. But talking about bad production, or not bad production, but say bad production days. What was like your very? You've been doing this for a few years, so like, what was your very worst experience ever? If you don't want to, you don't have to name an event, but what was like the one where you where you basically wake up, if you're on a production day, you go to set and you're like, please don't let it be like X. What would that be?
So what? Let me ask something. Do you mean what was the worst thing that I encountered, or the worst thing that I fear that I encounter?
The worst thing you actually encountered, because the fear is probably always bigger.
I think it was actually. I think it was the TCS finals of the last TCS
It was?
finals.
Oh, and I was there.
I think it was one, because it was just like stuff was delayed, and then some people got stuck in traffic because there were traffic jams. So even though like we planned a huge amount of time, and then it just like it unraveled itself, because like the universe was against it, and then it's small stuff. It happens it happened in various places. Like suddenly your internet drops for whatever reason, and if you're at the live venue, then suddenly you have to get the people of the venue, and then they have to figure out, and then they have to call the technician, and the technician has to come in, and then he has to do something, and then I don't know, like people getting sick, or like in last minute, or like whole teams dropping out of a tournament, like. Oh yeah, that was also funny. We had a Dota tournament, and the thing with Dota 2 is that a lot of teams are playing like second tier tournaments, and they're playing multiple ones. They're playing multiple qualifiers even at the same weekend, because
Right.
especially in a little bit like economically lower countries, they can actually like make do with just winning a bunch of lower tier tournaments, or it's at
Right.
least a good bonus for whatever they earn outside of gaming. So they just try to play as many tournaments as possible to have the highest chances. So we had a tournament, we had pretty good teams, and then like two of them like qualified for some, I don't know, DreamHack whatever at the same day, and then they just in the middle of the tournament, like in between two games, they were like, yeah, we're not playing anymore. We're gonna play this other tournament because the prize pool is like $50,000. Yeah, you have a match in half an hour. Bye.
Well,
And then they just left. What you gonna do? You cannot really punish them, because that's just how it works.
Oh,
So
no.
like it was less stressful for me.
It makes me uncomfortable just hearing the story.
Like it was less a problem for me in the production, because then it was more like the project manager that like was like, oh my god, I need a new team, and then just we had to phone around and get new teams and stuff in the middle. And I think it happened in this tournament. I think it happened like 3 times. We started with like 4 teams, and at the end we had like in total 7 teams, and like 3 were different or something like that. It's completely bananas what can happen, and you always think like, it's not possible until you actually like experienced it, and then it is.
It is, and it can, and it will happen at some point, because that's how it works in this level of esports. Not bad. You learned all these things, and that's why I asked what was the worst thing that you went through as somebody who does live production. This is one of those classic questions that, it's one of the classic questions, which sounds bad, but I think it's one of the important ones. If you met young Aspa, who probably had a bigger beard than you do now because you cut it recently. If you met young Aspa just started to do live production. He's excited about it. He's like, whoa, like I do this thing in esports.
Yep.
And you have like 15 seconds, 20 seconds to tell him something about production, and then you disappear in the void again because you were able to time travel or something. What would you tell him? What's like the one thing you wish you knew when you started? Don't do it.
No, honestly, it like the stuff that I talked about sounds really crazy or so, but when I'm like in these things, or even when they happen, I never felt bad. Like it's just meh. Keep calm, keep calm, and keep producing, I guess. Or like it's really just that, stay calm. That's the main thing. Like you're just gonna do it. Like even if everything burns and everything is going down the drain, you just keep on going. The show must go on. It's really the mantra. It's also like even in like really big productions, maybe some of the viewers don't really know it, but like even in like big productions of like big companies, because I have seen like the backstage of Blizzard. When I said I was team manager for the Heroes of the Storm team, I was at the DreamHack events and the Blizzard in their own studios in England, and I've seen what goes wrong behind the scenes there, even with like top talents like Kaldor was there, or Red Eye. Stuff just doesn't work. And I mean, they're like super professionals. Like I would say, even though I'm doing it professional now, I would classify myself more as a like very good hobbyist, because even though I'm working in esports for so long, the production part, I only do this since last year. Like it was just due to the corona. It was like, hey, we do online stuff. We already have done some small some small tournaments, and we do the TCS league. Like, yeah, that one we do for like 2 years. But now we have to we have to do tons of productions. Everything goes online. Aspar go like figure it out how to do it with the professional tools, because we were also using just OBS Studios, right? Like we were just make do. But yeah, in the behind the scenes, stuff breaks constantly. Like even if you look at League of Legends Worlds or whatever, I bet you the moment you are watching, but like behind the screens, there are like half a dozen people like running in circles, just fixing stuff. Yeah, it's just
too true.
Small, and also often it's small details like that you don't even notice, like some text boxes, some pop-ups, or some transitions that doesn't really work out, or a mic that like tuned on a little bit too late or a little bit too early and stuff. When I'm a viewer, I don't even notice half the stuff, right? Oftentimes you have the Twitch chat on the second screen anyway, or you have it all tapped or whatever.
Yeah.
But like if you're watching it and the and like all the product managers and then your customers, like the ones that hire you to do the events, they're like, oh my god, there is a pixel wrong, and there is a pixel wrong, and everyone is like, ah! And but it's honestly not that bad. And the thing,
but it's true. It's
and it's the end result is always like, it doesn't matter how much burns behind the scenes. Like it doesn't matter if like all the producers are like draining sweat, crying, calling their moms, telling them they love you. If like the end product was nice and no viewer is actually complaining, it's fine. It's fine. The rest doesn't matter. Like whatever. Like just fix it, band-aids, whatever. It just has to go out right now because people are watching. That's
Would you say that's like partially? I mean, I'll preface this by saying I'm pretty much on the level that I do production perfectionist myself. I run a live stream, and it's for like Twitch stream levels, it's pretty complicated. It's pretty intricate, and there's every single stream something breaks. Something doesn't work the way it's planned, because we also have our own bot. We also have our own bot that does like latest sub and chat and everything. Something's always wrong. And I've been told a million times, Strike, because I'm like, oh no, this thing doesn't work. Guys, hold on a second. And everybody's like, if you hadn't said it, wouldn't have noticed, man. And I keep telling myself, okay, next time I'm not going to talk about it. I'll just keep going, but I never do. I never managed to.
But that's an important thing. I had to like often talk with on-screen talents about that, because if you have, especially like in Switzerland, a lot of people do the on-screen talent stuff as hobbyists, especially like, let's say historically in the last 5 years. I would say only in the last 1 to 2 years there were like a lot more paid gigs, and like paid gigs more like really paid gigs, not like, oh, we give you the travel costs and you can have a free beer. It's really cool. I mean, it's necessary. Like you need all those volunteers to even get somewhere where you then can build up and say, now we want cash. But
absolutely,
the not so experienced on-screen talent has the habit of, because they need to fill voids. Then they, especially when something bad happens, they go like, oh, we have this technical issue and blah 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 blah. And the main thing is just shut up. Don't talk about it. Talk about the teams, talk about the lineups. We go to the break, blah, blah, blah. We come back. Just don't even mention it. Because if you never mention it, 99% of the people don't even get it. And of the 1% that get it, half of them don't care. Like, oh, like now that I did my own productions, like sometimes when I watch like the big streams, I go like, there, this graphic is clipping over there, or oh, why is this mic still on, or oh, this transition wasn't smooth. But it's like, yeah, you know this because you're doing it, but like I wouldn't have noticed it before because I never did. I only do it now, so meh.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm with you. Yeah, it's I guess what really helps from my own point of view, if you're on-screen talent, is write down, if you do notes, write down more than you could ever use. Because you never know if you're in a situation where exactly what you just said happens. Something goes wrong, everything breaks. Production tells you in your ear, "Hey, you have to fill the next 3 minutes. Just you have to fill them. Whatever. Just do something."
I mean,
if you're like,
sorry.
yeah, oh, that was a pretty good game, wasn't it? Damn. You already said the same thing you said 3 times. If you have some talking point that you can elaborate on, it looks like it was intended. It looks like you're just talking about what you were intending to talk about, and that's the trick.
Yeah, exactly.
The show must go on is basically the perfect way of putting this, like you said. I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you.
No, it's always with the vmix. That's another thing. Vmix delays, lol. But yeah, I was saying about the preparation of on-screen talent.
Yeah.
If you go to Twitter and look at tweets that Froskerin did, one of the lead talent of the LEC, where she wrote or showed Twitter what the preparation was for like one match of the Worlds, where she had like 12 pages with like graphs and stats, and I want to point out this, and I want to point out this, and blah blah blah. And she only talked about one part of that stuff. And the other part was like, yeah, if we get to that, or if the chance arises to also point that one out, or maybe we have to fill some gaps and blah blah blah. It's really important. I think, yeah,
absolutely.
For on-screen talent, preparation can do so much. I've noticed it myself when I was caster, like how much if you get technical issues, how much you can just skip. I have to do a really big shout out to our TCS casters, Digital Bacon and Eternal J, because those guys, they're really, really professional in what they do. And whenever we have issues, they can't just keep talking. Like they go blah blah blah, team blah blah blah, stats blah blah blah, talk about the storylines. Meanwhile, they write in Discord and go like, hey, what's wrong? Can we go to break? Do we have an update? And they just write that and keep talking, and that makes it so smooth, because then they just go, okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Teams are preparing right now, blah blah blah, and then you go 3 minutes into the break, and you come back, and everything is fixed, and nobody even knew that something was wrong, and that's all that's all there is to it.
Yeah, true. The one thing I personally noticed is it kind of like depends on the level a little bit. If you jack into a stream, I don't know, say some LOL finals or something, and they prepared this insane cinematic. People are super quick in chat to be like, I don't know, last year's was better, and you can tell this is top-notch production. I do motion graphic design, and I watch these videos, and I'm like, boom! Like if I could ever do this on my job, something like this is even got the skill level to get there. That's amazing. And they're like, meh, the one last year was better. Whereas I think if I saw more local productions, could be Swiss or it could be DACH, people are less quick to be like, man, production quality is bad. Or when something really obvious happens, like, I don't know, a mic feedbacks or a mic is choppy or something, people tend to say it in chat, but it feels less like a reproach, but more like a, hey, by the way, you might want to make sure that, I'm just trying to help. Would you say I'm completely off on that observation? Is this like it feels like more like a community still? Than like if you look at global levels, or would you say that's different?
Yeah, I mean, it's always expectation management, right? Like if you talk about like League of Legends internationals, Fortnite World Cup, the international from Dota 2, you're talking about companies that have millions, if not billions, of money. Like they have a crew of, I don't know, like for the Worlds, they're probably like 50 people running in the background at least, I think. So you then also expect a certain amount of like standard, like, okay, the feedback, mic feedback really should happen, because it's not like a small production where it's just one guy or two people overviewing all the moving parts at the same time. There you have like that manager and that, and they probably even have groups like those guys only do the graphics, and that group is only responsible for like all the video stuff. So each individual task has like a supervisor, and then you have like the main producer that goes on, like the shot caller that goes like blah 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 blah. Now we need this. Now we need that. Now we need this. So you have like a set of eyes on each task. So if something goes wrong there, you can go like, NA production, lol. I get it, and I mean, you should never use Twitch chat as a like measurement of anything. Like Twitch chat, especially like the bigger stuff, it's just whatever. I mean,
never
Twitch
listen
chat
to Twitch chat.
Probably worse than like Reddit or YouTube comment sections. I'm not quite sure if YouTube comment sections or Twitch chat, which one is worse. I had better discussions in YouTube comment sections than on Twitch, but nah. And then yeah, for small stuff, I guess if it's small stuff, then oftentimes people also know the people that do the production or that are involved in the whole thing. And then yeah, everybody just wants to succeed. Everyone just wants, oh hey, we want that the stuff that we have in our community is cool, so give them feedback. And outside of like the paid gigs, I always say, hey, really, like if you're complaining about someone doing productions not perfectly when they're doing it as their like hobby or as a volunteer, then I think the proverb of, well, if you can complain, go do it yourself. At that level, it's just like if you talk shit about people, like trying their best to like help the community, go do it yourself instead of complaining. And I think that's the main difference. I think it's just the money involved, and with the more amount of money that is involved, I think the expected professionalism is allowed. I think it makes sense. Yeah, it's proportionate.
Okay, but I would argue that I don't know, take the DACH scene again, or maybe even the Swiss scene. An average viewer, probably doesn't know, for instance, how professional everybody behind the scenes is. Like professional as in these 5 people there's 10 people producing, or only 2. These 10 are all hired full-time jobs. These 2 maybe are just volunteers doing this in their free time because they love this stuff and because they want to make a name in that. A viewer doesn't know because you don't advertise, hey, volunteer stream, and the viewer shouldn't know, right? A viewer shouldn't see that. I think what everybody aspires to if they produce this stuff is that it looks good enough to basically come off professional. That's I guess what everybody goes for if that do like screencasts of any sense.
Yeah, but kind of makes sense. Yeah, like in the ACH, yes. I mean, if you watch like Uniliga or something from the German ESL, then you kind of know, like if the German ESL has somebody that only does it as a volunteer, that's their own fault, basically. But like if like the community, I can talk about the Rocket League community because I'm just very involved there. We had like once or twice a year now that the community made some tournaments and they streamed them. I have not always watched them, but like they streamed them. So some of them, like they stream on their own and they made some overlays and blah blah blah. But like if like a mic doesn't mute itself at the like absolute correct time, like a second too late or too early, and you complain about that when it's just a community tournament where it's clear that it's like the players involved and maybe someone that knows how streaming works or how OBS Studio works, but clearly it's just like a community project, and I'm like, whatever. But usually people are way more lenient. I mean, you see it on Twitch itself, like even with big streamers, like even like the biggest streamers often have like really low like production value. They just stream. They don't do like all the bells and whistles. Like you as an example, you are like, I think if you go for like all the streamers that I watch, I think you have one of the highest production values of all the streamers that I personally watch.
Right. But thank you very much.
It's but on the flip side, it's not always necessary. Like I personally, I like your stream really, really well. I think it's really cool with the stuff. But then on the other side, I watch like another streamer like Jorps, and he has basically nothing. Like sometimes he even doesn't even like activate his cam because he doesn't feel like it, and then it's just his gameplay.
Yeah, sure.
And people are absolutely fine. And then also on that level, people are also like very lenient with like production errors. Oh, the single streamer pressed the wrong button and it is on the wrong scene, or the video that he wants to show you is not like cropped perfectly. He has to recrop on the fly. It's like, who cares? You literally see the person doing it. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's more there about the community. I think the expectations come with when it's like an event. Like I think where both these worlds mix or meet is games done quick, because at the beginning it was just charity and community and blah blah blah, but now it's a name. It's like the speedrunning event, right? Like if people know about speedrunning, they probably heard of games done quick. So you have a certain level of expectations that stuff has to work. And by the way, I really have to like appreciate how well the Games Done Quick streams go, because they not only work with like just online stuff, they have like a million ancient devices that they have to hook up and swap in between, like all these.
I think exactly that every time.
I don't want
10-minute build-up time.
It's a 50-50. I want to be part of that crew once, and the other half is like, nope, I'm not going to go there. Don't do it. You're going to lose like 5 years just doing one of these events. Like your death timer just comes 5 years closer. Like, oh my God. No.
I personally love the GDQ, perfect example. I personally love the part there that's there's so many little intricacies in the overlay design, in the dynamic overlay design, because it has this dynamic donation counter. But if you look at it very precisely, even the time counter, the time counter for the current run has a small binary clock in the background, and this is all dynamically programmed. And every time I see that, I'm like, I wish I knew how to do this. I would have so many cool ways to do ideas for my own stream, but this is another level, and I love this thing between. It's so professional that even the announcer they use has a very professional demeanor, and then they cut to this room full of nerds who are watching a run, and if like the next donation is and he says hype, and the whole room is hype. It's this mix of professionality and we're doing this for the love that I think makes GDQ so unique, in my personal opinion. Thank you for the nice words about my stream, by the way. But yeah, GDQ, that was another question that I wanted to touch on. If you could join a production crew ever right now from your gut, which one would it be? Like, what show would you like to co-produce once? And I guess GDQ is that show.
I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, if you could just choose, you probably want to do one of the biggest. So it has to be the League of Legends Worlds, or the International. Like, it has to be one of these.
You just want to meet KDA. Come on.
No.
I
wouldn't even know who they are, honestly, except for they make music. Like, do you? I have no idea. I know the skins because I play League, but that's about it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I know
fair.
the songs. And I know there is an actual band behind it, but at that point my info stops. So yeah.
Right.
No, it's
and your
really
interest
like
for
shows. Sure. If you can like choose, it has to be like those super big events. I think that would be really cool. Or the Dota Hand of Midas mode tournament, the Hand of Midas mode tournament. That one was really weird. And the Admiral Bulldog, was it Admiral Bulldog? I think it was. I'm not quite sure who's the organizer. He had like, after the last one they did, he had like a 2-hour stream on his own channel where he talked about all the pitfalls and dangers and issues that they had. And like, he had some issues that I couldn't even fathom before, because like, this is the
anxiety is like, oh, this could happen.
Match. No, the Hand of Midas mode is a show match, and they invite like the pros. Like, he gets the pros to play in like random teams and and play this fun mode. But now I just talk about one specific example. Like, there was I think they brought back one team that was like the players played in other teams, and they made like an old world champion team like gathered together for that event or something like this, and they were playing. Okay, so and the organizer is back and doing the production stuff, and one of the winners, I think it was Dandy, was like, "Yo, I want you to play our the next match with us." And he was like, "Dude, I'm producing. I can't go and play. We are doing the whole show here." It was like, "No, I want you to play." And then he was like, "Yeah, what can I?" And Dandy said, "I don't play if you don't join the next game." And he was like, "Fuck, what do I do now? Because I can't punish them. He's a millionaire. What can I do? I cannot say you don't get the prize money. I cannot say I don't invite you again. He's a millionaire." Playing this game for like a decade or two, I don't know. Like,
oh no!
He said it was the first. He was doing the production, but he had like no leverage over the players because the players were bigger than the event. So, like, what do you do if one of them just goes like, "And now, please bring me an elephant and juggle some chainsaws, or I stop playing," and then you're like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the fear of everybody who ever produced any kind of event, be it like an esports thing or anything, who has to deal with high level talents. Who maybe they're rich, maybe they're known to be super eccentric. I always thought like it must be rough to produce one of those MTV events where you have like 30 huge egos clashing. To get the best this or the best that, and then this person has a special wish, this person has a special wish, and you're like, I just want this to work, please. I just want to start and then to get it done, and everybody's happy. That sounds rough. So production, as we've learned tonight at the latest, not an easy area, but I guess you have to burn for it in a way. Your heart has to be in it, or you cannot really hold up. Probably kind of like being a chef. I heard that about being a chef as well. You have to burn for it. Well, not literally, not physically, but your heart has to be in it. Or
yeah, but one thing I wanted to point out that you mentioned about the GDQ stream,
right?
You know, about the special timer and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I do the production, but the reason why streams look nice has nothing to do with me. Like, not even a bit, because the reason why the also like the big streams, worlds and whatever look nice is because they have like a ton of graphic designers, video asset people that like just do cool stuff. They do cool animations, they do cool 3D things, yada yada. Sure, like MYI is so small that like we are working things out together, and often like as the producer you have like a vision on like, okay, certain things I want them to have like that specific look, or I want to do this and that in this show. I want to show that. I want to be able to pull this info up, blah blah blah. How do we do it? And then you work it out it's a team effort. But like that it looks pretty, you need a designer. Like it's like for someone that does it at home. Like, don't just expect that everything looks super neat, because it's not the same thing. Like producing the stream, doing the buttons, doing the work with the talents and the players and all the management of the show has nothing to do with how it looks. You're like the look stuff, I'm just putting it together like Lego. Like, especially with the program that we use vMix, not OBS anymore, and vMix is basically Lego. You put all the individual pieces in there. Every graphic, every video, every sound is like one input, and then you just mush them together until you have a stream. So yeah, I'm just basically playing Lego. So maybe that's why I like it, because I like Lego.
That's a very nice last word for this segment. How about we go into the next segment that we call "What's That Tweet?", where we go through 3 or 4 of your tweets or your retweets, trying to learn a little better who is Aspa and what is his social media personality.
Yeah, and I only know of this segment since like an hour ago or so.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea.
Luckily, I never tweet really stupid stuff, I guess. I hope.
Yeah, it's a good thing I'm the host and not in your seat. So let's start with the first one. This was your first tweet ever. Well, at least from the system, the first one I could ever find. And it's a reply. What happened there? Because the original was deleted. Pretty obvious. You were at DreamHack Summer 16. But do you remember who you were responding to and why? Give me some seconds to think about it.
I have to look at replying to Novisar and IDVC. DreamHack 2016. That was the summer when I was the team manager for the Heroes of the Storm team. And this DreamHack summer, that was the one in Toul. And the only reason I can think of, it's also, I think, my most upvoted Reddit post, was there was an issue at DreamHack, and people were like, what's going on? And I know that in the Reddit tweet, because there was a big Reddit thread, like, oh, what's going on? We have like a delay for like 2 hours. And I was writing there like, I'm the manager, blah blah blah, this and this issue is going, everything is going to be fixed, blah blah blah, just wait a bit. And maybe that is because of what happened there, because I wouldn't know, it's so long ago. I assume it's just
super
about
well imagine issues. Yeah, I could super well imagine that you're being sarcastic. Come again?
What was it? Was the other one deleted? Like, did I write something else?
The thing you replied to. The thing you replied to was deleted. That thing is gone. That I couldn't find, unfortunately, to get some context. But I was just, usually I go for the very first Twitter activity of an account. And apparently that's your first Twitter activity ever. And it's for a reply. So do you remember why you made Twitter in the first place? Is it the typical, oh, great, everybody around me has it, now I have to have it too?
No, it was just because, maybe it was even because of that. Maybe it was somebody tweeted something about me, and I said, I wrote this as an answer. I just started Twitter because the Heroes team was using Twitter back then, and I didn't have Twitter, and I actually didn't plan on having Twitter. And then I just, it must have been for this tweet, but I can't remember. Like, for the love of me, I can't remember what it was about, because it was certainly not about the how you say it. It was certainly not about the tech issues. I know one of the other team managers made a photo of me sleeping in a chair. Maybe it was a response to that. Because look, this is the new manager of MYI at work or something like this, and I know there was some tweet in that direction, but then it makes no sense because he has another Twitter handle instead of these two. So I don't know.
Or maybe he changed it. You never know. Maybe you don't remember that he changed it.
And I think it had to be. It probably had to be the sleeping chair photo, or something.
The sleeping chair photo. Okay, how about we look at the next one? This is your highest liked reply. The website that I used to find them is still called it favorite. Your highest liked reply is 1 exposure. It's from one of those pay artists situations. I think the original was, hey, please pay artists. Generally, like this whole topic, because especially in Switzerland, there's not a lot of like full paid esports jobs yet. The hope is that this is changing with esports becoming more of a mainstream thing. There's going to be companies like stocking up on staff for esports stuff, which means more full-time esports jobs are going to open. But yeah, I think as somebody who works in esports myself full-time, there's not a lot of jobs in this area yet. So how do you feel about it? Are we behind on this? Or is this just how the system goes? Do you feel, especially like young talent who wants to get into this situation, are they being not only in Switzerland, but like are they being taken advantage of, or do you think, well, they just have to prove their worth, and this is the way into esports right now?
Well, it's probably not going to be super popular what I'm going to say. Because you could also just claim it's survivorship bias. But right now in Switzerland, if you want to do esports, you're not doing it for the money. If you want to do photos or artwork for teams and streamers, if they give you something small, nice, and I think every organization that should try to give back as much as possible. But also don't expect any of the organizations really to have money. Just a reminder, as far as I know, not even one organization collects any kind of membership fee like you would do in a normal sports club. So all the money that the most organizations have, if they have any, is either out of their own pockets or it's some small sponsorships. And even the paid jobs, they were not paid well. Like we're really, nobody's working these hours and these times and weekends. Like last year I worked like, I don't know, like close to 40 weekends or something, just because of the bucks. You do it because you enjoy the work and you're working towards something where everybody can really comfortably live from it. But as I always say, also this harks in the next discussion with the players complaining about, stuff needs to be more professional and we need to be paid, and how can we make esports more attractive, and blah 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 blah. And they always talk about money, and I always go like, where does the money come from? Internationally, the money comes from because people watch, and then there are sponsors throwing money at the thing. In Switzerland, that's not the case, because most things are not entertaining enough for enough people to constantly watch. And at that point, you basically have to believe in that stuff. I always compare it to like niche sports where there is no money, but people like volunteer as coaches for juniors, and they do whatever, or like people that go to Olympia but in like disciplines that don't make a lot of money, and they need to train and buy their equipment and like do insane stuff like every other pro athlete also does, but they just don't get millions because you're not playing baseball, football, soccer, whatever. So and then you just have to do it for the love of it. Now, designers in and of itself, because what the post was about, the exposure dollar,
exposure bucks,
certainly not. Like if anyone wants like stuff from you, they pay you. It's your work. But the hindsight is, if you like demand certain prices and people are not buying, maybe your art is not good enough, or your prices are too high, or you're hitting a niche that is not willing. It goes both ways. It's just like it's just with everything else. I can make my own phone, and if I make my own iPhone and then demand it costs $50,000, you're not gonna buy it. Doesn't matter if I did it myself. So it's a given. It's just demand. It's just you have to.
It's how the market works.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to change soon?
Sorry. No.
Okay.
Or what do you mean? The Swiss part or the graphics stuff?
The Swiss part, really. The graphic stuff is, in my opinion, is a whole other kind of beast.
In Switzerland, it's tricky. We're working towards something. and we're working towards
Right.
something really, really quickly. We have to keep in mind that the professional esports part only exists since maybe, okay, this is my 5th year now at MY. Yeah, so it exists since 4 year, but even like the first year where esports.ch started and MY was founded is like the test year that it wasn't. So like having like a proper league like the Swiss Esports League and then TCS Esports League, and now the Hero League, those only exist for like 3 years, 3 to 4 years, right? And before that, Swiss Esports doesn't exist. We can say it exists. We had the LAN parties and we had stuff and people did a lot of things. As I said, I'm part of My Insanity for like 10 years, but it's not documented. Like we had all the websites went down. You hardly find anything before 2016, and that makes a big difference. There's the community aspect. The communities always fell apart again and again and again and again. So yeah, we're really at the start, especially if we always make this comparisons like, oh, we look over to Germany or to France and or compare ourselves to the international scene because now we have some big tournaments. But like Germany is doing this for 20 years, and they're doing this for 20 years at an actual semi-professional level. Like you can go and look back results from like bigger tournaments or like the old Quake stuff that are decades old. You don't find anything from 2005 in Switzerland, like nothing. Right? It's just not there. And without any history, new players are also not interested because we don't have legends. Like you don't come in and think like, oh, this Swiss player, he wrecked everyone. Every German player can go, yeah, but we have Fatality. He just like has like 8 world champion titles in different games and wrecked shooters for like 5 years worldwide. And he's a German guy, and I can go and look back at his stuff. That's one important thing. And then, yeah, and then the big thing that I also like talked in the tea time is the players. The players just have to step up. It's in the end, it's the players. Like everybody watches esports because of the players and the good games. And they have to be willing, again, back to the Olympians, they have to basically be willing to put Olympian hours into stuff that they can't expect to see any money when they do it. They have to do it because they want to get better. They have to do it because of the sport and not, and that's a thing that esport has an issue now, because a lot of international esports now is marketing. It's only marketing and merchandise. You see it with the big companies stepping in, like Gucci bags and blah blah blah. And what was the skins? Was it also Gucci skins? No, it was.
They did Gucci collaborations with the skins,
with League of Legends,
something
right,
like
or
that.
something like this, right?
Yeah, KDA again. I think it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that part, that's big money, and there is. Sometimes for me personally, I'm a little bit skeptical if all the franchising and stuff is really good for the sport part. It makes esports makes tons of bucks and it's really cool for everyone involved, but for me it's still a sport, and I want to do it because of the competition, and I want to do it because of the communities. And if then at the end of the day enough money comes in that we can at least live by it, that's fine. I don't think esport has to be the multi-million-dollar whatever thingy where players are bought and sold for like $7 million, because this is all the parts that I don't like about soccer. And I played soccer for like 20 years, and I never really watched soccer that much because I couldn't stand all the professional blah 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 stuff. It's just it has nothing to do with the actual game. I'm always interested in the actual, like, in the thing. And let's read chat because people had some questions. Why?
The purist. But there's one thing I want to add to this. Would you say that, I mean, this is kind of like the show pony argument, you know, the purist versus show pony argument, which is fair in my opinion. But wouldn't you say that if esports is to become a global phenomenon on the level of soccer, football, however you want to say it, which it's still not, I would argue. Doesn't it have to become? Isn't this like a natural consequence that the show, the drama, the transfers that you talked about, like basically everything around the actual thing that happens in the arena, isn't that just a part of it that keeps it alive in a way?
Oh yeah, no, sure. Obviously, like people see there's a chance to make money, so people will jump on the bandwagon. And if the train keeps rolling, people will throw money at it to get money back out of it. Sure.
Yeah.
That's all fine and dandy. Esports right now, though, has an issue that you have also a part of people that actually wanted to have it as a sport. But right now we only have top down. Like you have millions of dollaros that are just thrown into these big clubs. But you have seen it when the LOL went franchise, or when the Overwatch League started. Yeah. There were no classic teams anymore. There were no Fnatic and SK and whatever that are part of the Overwatch League. They all had to get some investors, because 20 million for a slot, 20 million is insane. 20 million was the highest prize pool that we have for one tournament, that then like one team won half of it. Like it's a sum that nobody can even reach. And that's the problem esports right now has a little bit, because you have the sums that are paid now are way too high for every classic traditional club. But all the like soccer clubs and baseball owners and blah 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 that are sometimes billionaires because they have oil fields or whatever, throwing a few millions around just means nothing. And at that point, it's like, does it really, for me looking up, is it really that good if it's just some play ball for some like brands and some people that just want to have a team because they can? I'm not saying nobody has like also an interest, and they further the teams. What was it? No, not Phoenix. There is a basketball player. He even was in Switzerland, and I think Steffi interviewed him. See, I'm bad with names. He's an ex-basketball player, and he now has a team because his son plays esports stuff, and he is really interested also in the aspect as a team, because he was a basketball player, and he in the interview said, I see what those athletes are putting into their craft, and it's the same that we do when we go on the field and in our training. So I'm not saying that none of these people investing big money are also interested in the sport, but it's now certainly like you always have to keep an eye on it, in my opinion, that it doesn't just become a spectacle and that's it, because it's also enclosed. Like if all the franchises just close their doors, I think it's lame and boring that not a new team can just show up and crush people. I mean, Unicorns of Love is a good team that just showed up out of nowhere in League of Legends and then slapped people with a really cool team. That's no longer going to happen. You will see new players, you will see new talents, but you won't see new organizations pulling it up. It's just the big organizations that now have the money will just buy everything. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, Rick. What was the second name? Mr. Product. Fox. Right.
Rick
Echo Fox. The team was Echo Fox. Yeah, right.
There you go. All right, let's go to the next tweet. Let's go to the next tweet. This is your highest liked own tweet, like your own tweet that has the most likes of all, and that was obvious. like I went through this website with the statistics, and I knew it was going to be this one. Razor broke. There's no real conversation about this. I just love this picture. I just wanted to show people this picture. I do have to ask though. Now you're a hairy boy. Well, not here, but here. I mean, basically, what you lost here, you have here now compared to this picture. Why did you cut yourself bald? And why don't you do it now?
Okay.
Style,
so the bald
practicality?
thing. No. The bald thing. The original bald part was it was at the start of Playvezia and the start stream, and there was like, oh, if we get that many followers in the first stream, I think it was 1,000 or so, then Lonya was it? We're like, oh, Aspa is gonna cut his hair, and I'm like, I'm doing what? Okay, yeah, sure, why not? And then we managed to do it, and then at the next Switzerland they like live shaved me on live stream, and then I was like, people were like, oh, that actually looks pretty good, and I was standing in the mirror like, yeah, why not? It's actually kind of neat, and then I just did it. No, even Burgdorf. Was it Burgdorf? Huh. I thought it was Switzerland, but it could be Burgdorf. Ah, yeah, it was Burgdorf. Was it? I don't know. All those.
Yeah, it could be because I think I was there too.
Like, blurred together, but yeah,
it's all a haze.
Could have been even. Yeah, and then
it does look good though.
I just go.
I have to say, you're one of those people who can rock a bald head, and I feel like this is something that you never know before you actually do it, because everybody's head looks different than you expect under their hair. I feel that I would look horrible if I cut off my hair, and that's like the only thing I'm vain about. I know I'm losing the right to be vain about my hair year after year because my receding hairline gets worse and worse and worse. But the only thing I used to be vain about was my hair ever since I cut it short from having really long hair, and that was like 7 years ago. I still think that whenever somebody cuts my hair, I have so many bumps and like weird little skin bumps or something on my head that I'd probably look like a mushroom if I shaved my head.
Same. Like I was like, can I even do this? What's the shape of my
all
head?
These bumps and everything.
No, this is a bump, and this is gonna look horrible. And then I just whatever. As I said at the beginning, why do I have all these different titles on my Twitter bio, and it's not even like everything that I do. It's like just say yes and do it. Like whatever. What could go wrong?
That's how you become an esports personality. That's how you become known. The people who say, "All right, let's do it," are the people who tend to get more hype and get more well known. If you want to be a
personality on the internet, just don't have any self-respect. Just say yes to everything people want you to do. Cut your hair, your beard, get a tattoo, dress yourself as Blue Santa, whatever. Just self-respect out of the window, and you do great, kids.
Yeah, you're gonna get that fame that you always wanted.
Yeah. Just do that TikTok video. No problem. Just do it.
Oh right, yeah. Just do TikTok these days. It's gonna work out. I tried TikTok. I basically treat my TikTok like it was Vine, like very bad, quick joke ideas, and then sometimes they get 8,000 views, and sometimes they get 8.
Isn't TikTok just well done Vine? It basically is, right?
Longer Vine, I guess. Longer Vine, ultimately.
Maybe, but then it's just Vine. It's I don't even get me started on this. Whatever. I
go to TikTok once a week. I post something and then I leave again.
I go on YouTube
anyway,
and then sorry.
What's funny though is I only start getting likes almost exactly 24 hours after I post it. It's radio silent for 24 hours after the post, and then I start getting follows. So the algorithm is weird. Their algorithm is super weird. I'd like to go to the last tweet that we look at before we go into the a few more personal questions about the man, the myth, the Aspa. And this is a video, and this is your most engaged retweet that, as you say, explains your humor. And funnily enough, it's a retweet by a young lady who even posted this with, "God, my humor is trash." I hope we have sound because I really wanted all of you to see this. I think sound is turned off. I think you have to turn on the sound in the tweet itself.
Possessed by an owl. Yeah. Who? That's the thing. We don't... Okay, guys, we have to be careful. Someone here is possessed by an owl. Who? That's the thing. We don't... Okay, guys, we have to be careful.
It's so good. Funny. It's funny. Oh, it is funny. Look at him. Look at him. He's...
It's just
but the thing is, see, this is a TikTok.
Yeah,
see, this is a TikTok, and it's a 5-second joke, and it works so well, and it's just with talking heads. This is the kind of TikTok content that I personally like a lot. Ooh, cool boy. That I personally like a lot because it's creative. It uses absolute basic tools to tell a story, and it works. That's what I personally like about it, like, very much. I enjoy this kind of TikTok content. Do you?
Yeah, that's why I go on Twitter. That's why I go on YouTube, because then you have compilations or the best videos. Somebody already went and waited to all the not so good videos, and then I just have the funny videos.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. Like you and me, I guess. We would know what cool is, right? Because we're wearing the cool glasses. So if anybody knows what's cool, this TikTok is cool. This man is cool. We're gonna get into the personal part now. And I have to maintain some professional integrity in this show, so I'm going to take off my sunglasses. Yeah, you don't. That's the cool part of just being the eccentric guest. We already talked about that, right? But my question for you is, like, this is always a funny one to ask people. How would you describe your personality? If you were this kind of content creator and you have like a field, you apply for something, you have a field, and you have to. What are you like in, like, I don't know, 1-2 sentences? What would you say?
Weird. Funny.
Weird. Funny.
Hopefully funny. I mean, it's always if you say about yourself that you're funny. No, I don't know. I guess I'm uncomplicated. I like to talk. Scooter says a clown. That's maybe not. Yeah, it has some parts. No, I'm just pretty easygoing, I guess. And
I love how you're like hanging in the chair right now with those songs. Yeah, what am I supposed to say, bro? What kind of interview is this, man? This is not what I prepared for. I was partying until 5 a.m.
I can even do this. Like, let's go.
Yeah, can you do this? Is this a PewDiePie chair? It's not, though, is it? What you gonna do? Sue me? Kick me off the show?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just so awesome as me, how do you describe it? Like, you just look at it and then you know. They know.
Absolutely, 100. They know. Chat knows. Let's see if chat knows. I'm gonna quick look at chat. Yes, chat knows. Chat absolutely is aware. I'd like to play the favorites game with you real quick, and basically like tune into that kind of Twitter thing that we saw. Your opinion on the best 2020. So, like, who do you think was the most prolific Swiss e-athlete of 2020?
Oh,
feeling.
It's tricky because I am super biased in this because. One of my biggest parts of the work that I work with is the TCS Esports League. So I'm really deep in the Rocket League community. So in that case, it's obviously Sefer. I don't know if it's. I think Sefer also like probably rates pretty high compared to like overall, because as far as I see on Twitch right now, he's streaming really regularly, has a really positive mindset. He also helps us with the league a lot. He's very proactive as a player and a team captain. It's really a pleasure to work with him. He like reminds other players to stay positive. Sefer is a big shout out to him. In that case, like from an athlete point, I think he's doing very well.
I like the guy a lot because he the first thing I saw was his Twitter, and he specifically wrote trying to bring positivity, like or not just positivity, but like decency, and in my opinion, and that's something I talked about last time on this show. One thing that esports, or maybe even Swiss esports, is lacking is professionalism amongst athletes, like the non-toxic behavior. Athletic behavior, but that's a whole other topic, and that's something where he, for me, is kind of like a shining light a little bit. This is how an e-athlete, in my opinion, should comport themselves towards their team, towards other players, towards the general public. But that's just my own opinion. This one is obviously you're going to be a little biased as well. So give me maybe the second one, if you want to, if you will. Your favorite team or orga?
Favorite team or organization? Yeah, my Insanity. I mean, I'm gonna.
That's why I'm saying, give me the second one.
I still gonna get the logo on my shoulder, so that goes to show how important that team
tattooed.
is for me. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just the people, like everyone in there.
Right.
Both the players and all the people that do the volunteer work and that do still my Insanity, the team.
Yeah.
The vast majority are they do this volunteer basis, right? And they have now a team, and they incorporate on their own volition stuff that they are interested in. Like Nina Silverborn, she's doing the psychological stuff and bringing it to the team, and we have the nutritionist and blah blah blah, and they doing it because they have their own skill sets, and they want to bring that to help teams, and it's just the spirit within my Insanity was always great. It's always about being really open with each other. Even if you have problems, then you talk about it. It's not all the backstabby stuff, and there's just no time for it. And then a lot of the people that now work in the agency were also really deep in the team, and we are not that deep into it anymore. Like me, Domi, and Cedric, or Schlock, or Dos, where you probably know them more from the names.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a little bit sad because we're doing the work stuff and we don't have that much time for. But then the places were filled by Scooter, who is also in the chat, and Scooter is. People probably don't know, but he's one of the most important people in Swiss esports behind the scenes, and Swiss esports wouldn't be where it is without him. Being this stoic
shout out Scooter
rock that people can just rely on if there are issues. You have people like Eduism, who is just such a good beacon that you can say this is also what esports is about. This guy really happy-go-lucky and brings this positive, and it's just everyone. It's amazing. I wouldn't change it for any other team.
Okay, favorite tournament?
Where? Which region?
Switzerland, yeah.
I'm so biased because I'm I'm working within it. It's probably the Red Bull Universe event. That one is just very, 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 very cool. The Red Bull Universe is an event where last time we had a Romandy team and a German-speaking team, and 5 organizations sent 2 or 6 organizations. I don't know. A bunch of organizations could send 2 players each, and we put them into the different teams. And then they had a boot camp with some where there's always a play. I have to start again. The event complicated. It's an event that has multiple games. Play multiple games. You play League and Counter-Strike and blah blah blah. And then teams send players, but always players that mainly play one of these games, and they sometimes haven't played the other games. And then you had a boot camp before, and there the other players tried to teach them as much as possible for these games, so they don't completely suck at the finals. And then you go through all the through all the events, and they can gather points. And within each game, we had some special tasks that they have to do. Like in League of Legends, they had to all buy a Sonya's and jump onto a turret of the enemies and activate it at the same time. Or in Counter-Strike, the team captain had to knife the other team captain, Zeus the other team captain, stuff like that. And then they could gather points. And at the end, we have the best esports competition ever. We have competitive Minecraft gaming house
I saw
building. It's amazing. It's the best what you can do, and it's just a great event. Everyone has fun. We have some international talents. Last time we even had Shocks present, and it was just amazing. The whole event was cool. The atmosphere was cool. The teams had fun. The players also. Stuff like this is really important because now people connected on across communities that didn't interact with each other, because at the Counter-Strike players and the League players and the Rocket League players, and now they suddenly talked with each other and had like a reason and to interact with each other for like a longer period of time. And some of them were like, I didn't even know that cool people were around, you know.
Okay.
And I think that's important, because we can't do anything in Switzerland. We have the language barrier. It's always going to be an issue. And not everybody understands perfect English. Like we do now an English stream here for all viewers, but I know I even have friends that they just don't speak that good English, so they have to they consume mostly German speaking content, and that's always something that we have to. Stuff like that is good to bridge these gaps as good as possible.
Right. Favorite streamer? And if it's not me, it's fine. I just want to put that in there. It's fine.
Streamer in Switzerland.
Give me an honest. Yeah. Say it. No.
It's actually tough, because I swap between people. I like your stream. I watch Strike every not every time, but sometimes. I also really enjoy the Swiss Angry Noobs. I like those two.
Yes.
And I really enjoy Lycris's stream. The streams of Lycris, just because we also stream together a little bit. It's really hard. I really can't. I don't really have like a favorite one.
A favorite, yeah.
No, I really don't. It depends on the mood.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Even in general, I don't have like a favorite streamer.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, sometimes people ask me that in my own stream, and I'm like, and then 5 minutes of thinking. I don't have like a favorite streamer from the gut. I also sometimes feel like people who tend to be very quick with saying this is my favorite streamer, my personal experience is they change those favorite streamers very often.
Yeah. Which is also okay. You can have a favorite streamer for a while,
fine.
Right?
It's fine. I'm just saying the people who usually in my chat have been like, "You're my favorite streamer ever," and this is just like a subjective statistical thing, were the ones gone in 4 weeks. Probably to someone else because they played something else. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I think it's healthy. It's like watching YouTube. I think or TV even. It's healthy to have a few different things you like, and swap back and forth between what you like. Ultimately,
also on top of that,
I think
I'm
we had
a YouTube person than a Twitch person. Like I consume.
There you go.
Probably like 80-90% YouTube. So if you would ask me YouTube, I would give you like, I really enjoy Game Grumps and watch probably every episode since the last 5 years or something.
Game Grumps.
But or
Aaron, no.
I guess he's also a streamer, but there is Northernline. I watched tons of videos of that guy. Northernline, that guy is crazy. If you want to see somebody putting out videos on YouTube, it's that guy. His original video series that he started, or that made him big, that was Binding of Isaac, is still running, and it's now at number 1,800, and he puts out like 5 videos a day. It's absolutely bananas. This guy is a reason why he's now a million channel, whatever, and he also streams. Like he has like 2 or 3 streams a week, and then he has like the super show where he streams with other streams. Like it's bananas. He is taking it really, really serious as a job. Like this guy is like 10 hours a day. I do content, YouTube, Twitch, bam, 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 bam.
Content,
He's
yeah.
really, really good. And he's not editing anything. Like, there's our full videos, just him being entertaining. He is like really my idol when it comes about like making content, because he's just interesting as the person and as the personality, and not like I have 75 edits in like a 1 minute video. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what like every content creator aspires to be. Every streamer aspires to have people come and watch because it's them and not because of the game they're playing. I noticed from my own work, that's hard to reach. That's hard to reach, and for some people it's easier, for some people it's harder, because some people are just more charismatic people and some people are not. But to an extent you can learn that, I think. To an extent you can learn like this continued interaction. It's just really, it's not easy. We have one last question that I want to touch on real quick. We have it from Twitter, and it was from The Jackal, who says, if I want to start off in doing esports production, what is the recommended equipment? Very quick.
Well, it kind of depends on, well, if you do an esports production, say you want to help your friend that has the idea of doing like a Rocket League tournament, a small Rocket League tournament, or League of Legends tournament. What you personally need is a PC with decent internet connection, and then OBS Studios, which is free, and then some free time. Watch some YouTube videos, go on forums. OBS is used so much that there is tons of questions and answers and helps and guidelines that you can like learn it yourself. I'm using vMix, as I said.
Absolutely.
It's the big boy thing, and I learned it in like a week by just watching YouTube videos and reading the help guideline thing that they have, and just playing around in the program until I figured out what all the stuff does and how I can put it together. And then it's learning by doing but technically you need a somewhat decent PC and some good internet, and that's it, because webcam and stuff is not on you. You're the producer, right? And no, you don't technically need a stream deck. If you have a small production, you can do it with the mouse. You're only gonna click through a few things and show some stuff. Like I did a lot. I'm pretty sure that like the first TCS stuff that I didn't have a stream deck, probably. So like even one of these streams can be done without. But I think Stream Deck is probably the one thing that you want at first. And the rest is software. It's all free software. You can have Voice Meter, Banana Voice Meter. You can download this. OBS, you download that. Full-time week. Yes, Lama Rage. It was a full-time week. I actually got like 3 or 4 days, work days. So, but vMix is way more complicated than OBS. Like, way more complicated. OBS, if you have like a smart head on your shoulders, I think you can learn this at the weekend. Like, if you have a weekend of time, you say, I really want to get to know OBS Studios for an easy production. Totally, absolutely doable.
Should I start thinking about switching to vMix with the production level that you see me have, or am I okay with OBS?
No, vMix is... OBS Studios can do tons of stuff, especially with the add-ons. I think a single streamer makes no sense to have vMix unless they want to do really complicated stuff.
Like a podcast, the call-in stuff?
No, like... What the real cool stuff is that you can start doing like graphic databases and update graphics live on stream, and even like stuff that is within the graphics. Like you can swap graphics via an Excel database. So you have all the graphics somewhere on your PC, and then you make an Excel sheet, and then you just swap out the graphics on the go. And if you have like cams, you can do replay stuff. Like it's good for like having replays, but you can do this with like just having two OBS. Like vMix is only really for super complicated stuff. When you also have like interconnected things, when you have like these guys are recording something and sending you something, and you get that, then sending some, like at that point it kind of becomes a cool thing. Actually, the Swiss Angry Noobs are using vMix for their production.
They are, yes. But it
they
makes sense
do it
also
yeah,
because
they
of
have
the calling thing.
exactly. They have no wait, which is these corners here. They have two two
Yeah.
people that are streaming, and like one of the streamers has to get the other webcam and then do everything together, and they swap a lot, and then they have a lot of video and moving stuff, and
Yes. Yeah.
they already, but they said they are probably one of the only streaming people that use it, like in general. Like I wouldn't know
Mm-hmm.
of any of the bigger streamers that actually uses vmix, because it's just way too much. Vmix is
Yeah.
also
Probably.
usually not really used for esports and gaming stuff. The original idea for what you were using, for what it was designed, was like live stuff, uh,
Right.
racing and whatever. Like we use it for the
Right.
Swiss Drone League, for example, because they can like hook up, because you can hook up a lot of hardware into vmix, and it recognizes hardware. So they have like, they bring like servers and whatnot, and then they hook up the cams and the speed meters, so they can like track the drones, and the drone times get updated automatically and stuff, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm talking too much, I know. Okay, so that's that. So you don't need a lot. You need a PC, you need some software, and that's it.
There we go. Words from the wise man. PC software, that's it. And a week, a full-time week to get into it and get yourself acquainted. And don't be scared to learn and to fail across the way. I guess that always goes without saying. With that, we are over our allotted time. Aspa, thank you so much for taking the time to talking with us tonight, to me basically, and talking to chat and giving us
Thanks
your
for having me.
wisdom and your experience. It was as always super fun to talk to you, and I hope we can do that again very, very soon. I hope you have a beautiful evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
I hope it
follow
was,
him at MYI Aspartem. You see it right below his face, his beautiful face. That's his @ Follow him on Twitter for more wise stuff and for more funny
I really
crap.
suck at that left-right thing when it's inverted.
Yeah, me too.
Which
Me
hand is
too.
which, okay.
Good night, man. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. That was GGWP. Good game, well played for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Strike. If you would like to see more from me, I am Strike on Twitch, or That Guy Strike. As you can see here, I got the same thing with the left and right thing. That Guy Strike on basically every single platform other than Twitch. Follow the Swiss Esports League. Follow Swiss Esports on Twitter as well for more awesome information on what's happening in the Swiss esports world. And with that, I was your host, Strike. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful evening. Wear your masks. Don't touch each other too much, because that corona thing is still a problem. And we'll see each other next time. Make sure you also watch the other streams that we have here in German, for example. They're going to be in a few days, and that's going to be interesting definitely as well. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Good night.
Unstoppable.